today I'd like to show you how to make my Whimsical Cat pendants. As you can see here, I've got 5 on show for you, but I'll put a slideshow at the end of the video so you can see the other designs that I've done. This one's probably the simplest one that you can use either embossing folders or stamps to create a raised image. This one is just a plain piece of polymer clay with cane slices on it and some rhinestones. This one's just got a lovely big rhinestone, dropping it, with a cane slice. And this one is nail transfer images that I got off of, I think it was AliExpress. I got these ones, and that's using a skinner blend. And then this one is, I created a veneer using all cane slices and doing different impressions and things onto a piece of clay, and then I cut out the image, the stamp that I wanted to use. So let's get started. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of doing them, and I think the first one we'll do is probably going to be with stamps or embossing folders. Now I've got a few here, you probably can't see those very well, but I did one necklace. The one that I showed you is that one with an embossing folder, and then I used a mica powder to go over the top, just put some on the end of my finger and rubbed it over, and it sticks to the clay. If you haven't got embossing folders but you've got loads of stamps, you can use stamps all the same. If you want to have double-sided, then you just have one stamp on top and one on the bottom, but it's quicker if you're using an embossing folder. You don't have to use an embossing folder. Like I say, you can use stamps. If you haven't got either of those, you can use things from around your house to create impressions within the piece of clay. I've already got my clay blends ready. For this one, I think we'll use a plain colour. Let's see if I can find out. Oh, let's go with a nice red. So this is rolled out on the thickest setting of my pasta machine, which is a number 1. And where's my cat disappeared? So it's disappeared now on me. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Right, so this is a little cutter that I got. This was off of AliExpress. I think it was less than £1. It did take a while for it to come, but you can't grumble for £1. So basically what I'm going to do is, I've got my clay. Let's try, I think I'll go for butterflies today. We'll see if we can get some butterfly wings on it. So the best thing to do is, rather than cutting it out and stamping on the flex, it can make your pendant bigger, is to emboss the entire piece of clay. Now if you spray it with some water, it stops the clay from sticking to the embossing folder or stamp, whichever you're using. So you just push it in between. Sorry, excuse my finger, I cut myself yesterday, so it's not the best for showing videos, but I can't clay with a plaster on my finger, it sticks to it. So if you just press all over, it's like this. Just make sure that you get everywhere on the design, and you pull it off, and you should be able to see. There's a raised image, I don't know whether if you can see it very well, but that's what that is. You can wipe the water off just with your hand, or if you've got a paper towel, you can use that as well. The things that you can use for creating the colour over the top, there's lots of different things you can use. You can use decorating chalks, pastel chalks, eyeshadows, mica powders, pretty much any sort of powder colour you can use. Or there's these other things that I forgot to get them out, silly me. The gilding polish, I got these from I think it was Crafter's Companion, but I think you can get them in Hobbycraft and things like that as well. It's basically like a paste. It's a bit like Inca Gold, if you've heard of that, and you just rub it on your finger and then pop it onto your design, whichever you're wanting to do. I'll use some eyeshadows today. I think I'll use my big palette, it's got a bit more choice on there. So right, let's have a look. Want something bright to contrast with the red. I'm just hoping that everything's picked up nicely on there now. What shall we go for? Oh, let's go with this. It's quite a goldy colour. Let's have a look, see if that comes up alright. So you just dip your finger into your eyeshadow or chalks, whichever you're wanting to do. Don't think I've quite got the impression right, but we can make it work. Because then if you've not got the full image on, you can always do something on the part that's missed. You can put rhinestones in and things like that. That one doesn't seem to be going on very well. Don't think it likes that colour. Let's try. Oh, sorry, I've got all my stuff around me and that's what. Oh, we've got a proper mica powder now. Let's try that one. You can use a paintbrush if you don't want to use your finger, or a makeup sponge. That's a bit better. So, and you don't have to do all over, you know, a solid. You could do it in different colours if you wished. See, or you can sort of just do some parts with more colour and leave it on. As you can see, I've got quite a thick stripe. Let's see if I can get it a bit more on, because there's only so much colour that the clay will grab onto. So if you want to pick an area that's quite more evened out, I've not done a very good job on that one today, but when you're doing it, you can take as much time as you want, really. So I've got my cutter. To stop the cutter sticking to the clay, I just spray some water on my cutting mat, dip it in. Let's see, let's go there, I think. And then, oh yeah, the antenna just goes in between the neck shoulder blades, so press down, give it a little wiggle. There we go. Just tease it out if it doesn't want to come out. And there you go. So like I say, if you want to work at it, you can also go back in with a needle tool or something like that if you wanted to make some more impressions, you know, and make them more pronounced if they've been missed. Just when you're doing your pressing down on your stamp or whatever you're using, just take a bit more time than what I've done today. Like I say, you can go back round with it and fidget with it as much as you want. Once you've got your powders on, you can see a little bit better than without it. You can do this technique with a Skinner blend as well, but I think we just been having a colour over it, one single colour, that might work better with a Skinner blend rather than I've lost my words now, I can't speak. So yeah, but because these are just plain clay backgrounds, you could put your different colours over, whereas with the Skinner blend, you've already got the colours there for you, and then you pick out where you want it to go. So it's up to you really what you're wanting to do. The next one I'll go on to is the image transfer one, because that one needs to dry a little bit before we can do the second part. So I'll just pop this to one side. Now for the image transfer ones, so yeah, I did use a Skinner blend for this. So I'll get another one of those out and I'll show you. For that one I used just a regular Skinner blend, but for demonstration today I've pre-baked just a nice lilac-y lavender sort of colour. This one you really need to bake your piece before you put your image transfer on, because if you try doing it on wet clay it'll just not work. So the easiest thing to do with that, I'm using a Zig Memory System 2-way glue. You can see how much my glue is used because it is well loved. So all you do is you're basically giving a good coat over the entire piece, and then you let this dry, and then once it's dry it leaves it tacky, sort of a bit like a post-it note sticky, and that grabs onto the images, so we'll have to let that dry, and then we can come back to that one. But I'll show you some of the transfers that I've got. Now again, these are from AliExpress. There's hundreds and hundreds of these on the website. The best ones for these are the ones where you can get that have got sort of like a clear backing, so if the image doesn't fully come out you can work it round and reposition it with another little image on the place, so that you can make sure that you've got the entire thing covered. I think with that one being a purple, I think that might look quite nice. With butterflies. I think we'll stick with butterflies today. We've done the butterfly impression, so we'll do butterflies with that. So I'll leave that to one side while that one's doing. So while it's drying, you can be doing one of the other pieces, or if you've got some more of those that you want to be covering. I always give 2 coats of it, simply because I might have missed an area, and if you miss an area then it's not going to pick up the image. Now you can do that as a 3D version of the pendant. Now to get this one, I've just cut out, I think it was 3 layers of the thickest setting, and then I placed them on top of each other, and then I burnished them into the shape that I wanted, and then I've baked it. So I'll do this off camera, this one, and then you can see what the difference is like on a 3D one as opposed to a flat one. But while that's drying, I think we'll try one of the ones that I've used slices of my canes on, and then just basically creating it like this. Now this one's really fun. If you've got loads of leftover canes and little bits that you don't know what to do with, these are brilliant for decorating. So I've got quite a lot here, so I'll have a pick. So right, we'll use the opposite side. No, we're not, because it's got that impression on it. Right, let's do so we'll stick with the pink and purple theme. Can you tell I like purple? So again, just dip your cutter in the bit of water and spray some more. Sorry for the noise. Right. So I'll just press down really well. There we go. That came off a bit easier. Now, basically to do this you just need your tissue blade, either a long one or a short one, depending on what you've got. And then you just need to think about what you want to do as your image on there. Just checking that you can see. Right, let's have a flower. Start with a flower, I think. Let's go with this one. So I've just got a little cane that I've got left. You can see it. So what I like to do is press in the petals so that it actually looks more like a flower rather than a circle. So I just use my needle tool and just push in at the side. If you're doing the entire, if you're doing like a full sheet of clay, then you just keep doing it as you're going down, because when you cut every few then it'll flatten out. So then you just take some nice thin slices, and then now this bit is totally up to you how you want to decorate it. Now just because I'm using flowers doesn't mean you've got to use flowers. You can use leaves and petals, anything really. You can make a whole veneer from a kaleidoscope cane, which I've done on one of my other pendants I've not shown you yet. I'll show you those at the end. And that makes a stunning piece, and you don't necessarily need to do all the you know, like the tail and things like that, you can leave them blank. So I think I'll leave it as with that, and then I think I'll put on a tail like I have done on some of the other ones. So let's see what I can grab. In fact, we'll use a bit of this red that we've got left over. You don't need a lot to do the tail. Just roll it into like a little sausage, roll it out. Now you have to think your pendant piece is slipping on the extra water. You just get it as much as you think. Now this, I like to make it so the curve so it looks like when if you've got cats or you've seen cats, you know that the swish the tail's a fair amount. So I do it fairly thin, something like that, and then I decide where I want it now, because I've got these flowers. I'll do it round those. Now some cats obviously have a longer tail than others, but then you just nip it off at the end, and then you can just rub it down with your finger. Right. The other thing you can do is you put like a little collar on. Now you can use this and actually what's left from your tail, flatten it out and straighten it up. You can spend hours, you know, just decorating these, and I got quite addicted. I think I'm at 15 on my first night of doing them, and I was hooked. Right, so I've got that, I'll just pop that across there. Now it's up to you whether if you want to wrap it down the sides and round the back. There is an option for you to decorate the back as well, but I'll just push it down the sides and then nip it off just like that. Now, I'll put my light on because I'm losing a bit of light there. Can you see a bit better? Right, now, rhinestones. Because these are quite dainty, I'll put some of these flat back ones on. Right. Now what you'll need is to make sure that these stick well to the clay is a bit of bacon bond, and I've just put it where I'm wanting the rhinestone to go. So I think I'll put one in the middle of each of these flowers. Yep. There's a lot there, so we'll just get a brush, just move it across. Right, oh, a bit of rolled clay there. Right, so you can get gemstone placer tool things, but that's all added money. So if you've got a tweezer, if you can manage to do it with your fingers, then that's brilliant. Because whatever is free is great. Yep. Oh, I don't want to work today. Right, I don't want you on there anyway. Right, we'll put that one on. Right, now I like to push these down into them, so what I do is I get an old ballpoint pen that's retracted in, and it's got that little divvy there, and then you just push into the rhinestone into the clay. Now you can also I've put them on the collar before, so let's do that. Get a little tad more glue. You need very, very little amount of glue for it, because especially these ones, these rhinestones are tiny, and any that splatters out from the sides, it bakes clear, so it's not going to be seen, so I won't worry about it. Hands are covered in gold mica powder, not wrong with a bit of sparkle. Tweezers aren't working well today, or should I say my hand's not working the tweezers well today. Here we go. There we go. Now you can put other things on if you wanted to put like, get rid of that bit. If you wanted to mark out where the ears are, I've done that on a couple of my pendants. Just like that. Or even if you just wanted to do some squiggles and dots and things, it's totally up to you. I think I'm going to leave that one as it is. So then, next step to is if you oh, I'm knocking my rhinestones over now. If you're wanting to use resin on it to top it, which my pendants have got, you can do that either now if you're using UV resin, which can be baked with polymer clay, but the two-part resin, you can't put that in the oven, so it depends on which one you want to use. If you don't know whether if your piece is going to be going back into the oven or not, I'd recommend using the UV resin, because then you've the option of putting it back in, say if you wanted to turn it into something else other than a pendant. I'm going to do all my glazing in one go, so I'll just pick that up. So I'll do the second coat on my other cap, and then I can be telling you how we put the eyelets in for the backing. Right, there. So I've got silver or gold. I'm sure you can get other colours. These are just what I've got. Now there's two options for doing this. You can just rub your sides and get them all nice and smooth if you wish. Now, depending on how thick you want your pendant is whether if you want to put a full backing on it, which you can do. These ones that you've used the embossing powder or stamps, you've got the reverse image on the back, so it's up to you. I like to put, see if I can find the one, it's just, there we go. This one's just got a slice of a cane on to hold down the eyelet, or you can cover the entire thing, which I've done on this one, and it's just cutting out another full back of the cat. I think I will back this one. Have I got enough in that? No, not that one. So if you wanted to make your back out of the blend as well, that would actually be quite interesting. So if your pendant does flip round, it's just as pretty on the back as what the front is. Now, I think I'll go with some of this orange and put that on. So I'll cut out, let's try and get a bit more orange in. Now if your shape just comes out a bit, oh, the rhinestone comes out, you can just use your finger to smooth the edges and get them all refined. I tend to do this when the pieces are stuck back together, you know, they're both together. If you're a sanding person, that's great, you can sand them afterwards. I'm not a sanding person. The only sanding I do is absolutely necessary if I'm doing my resin and there's been a blob on it or something. So, like I said, you can just do it now or when you've stuck your pieces together. Getting lots of bit of clay around me today. So, if you get your eyelet, now this is wet clay to wet clay, but because the eyelet isn't wet, I just recommend putting a bit of bacon bond just where it's going to go and lay it in place. Obviously, and just get it to where it is that you want it, because that's where it'll hang. So then pop that over, don't worry about it wriggling around and moving, you can always push it back in when you sort it. Right, and then the best thing to do is just give it a bit of a squeeze. Your liquid clay might come out there, but like I said, it bakes clear anyway, so it's not an issue really. See, you've got a nice backing as well as your front, and then I'll put a thin layer of UV resin on to finish it off. You can also put some just rhinestones into these ones. Like I could pick, you could pick up where the antenna are here on the butterfly. Right, there we go. Let's try doing that. Let's see. I'm sure you can imagine how much fapping I actually do when I'm off camera. There's so many options to what you can do to decorate these. Like I said, I'm rather addicted to making them at the moment. I'm trying to look for some other animal shape cutters that I can use the same techniques on. If you've got different cutters, well, you could use them on just plain shapes if you wished. I just like the Whimsical Cats. So I'm a crazy cat lady. I've had quite a few cats, and people joke with me that I'm a crazy cat lady. So this is just confirming it and a little bit more. Try and get it off. Now, like I said, that will dry clear. Again, you do as much to it as you want to do. Let's see if I can get it up and get another burnish. Still waiting for that other piece to dry. So I'll do is I'll burnish these off camera, and then I'll come back, so it's a bit boring to watch me faffing and doing all this with it, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Right, I forgot to explain, when you've done these ones that have got the slicers on, they need burnishing to make sure that the slicers are stuck well to the clay. Now, I just like to use a piece of cellophane, or you can use paper, baking tape, something like that. Just basically so you can see where you're going, so you don't squish your slices or your pendant too much. You can use this for going around your sides as well. Either use your finger or a stiff piece of card, just something that'll make your edges more smooth. So, and then this one blade. It just makes sure that they're all well pressed down and they're not going to come off. So I'll get back to finishing off the other ones, and then we will do our image transfer. Back again. So my glue's all tacky now, and it looks like it's over everywhere as much as I can see. So get my nail transfers. Now be careful, because some of them come with words on the back of it, so just be careful where you actually place your transfer, because I'm sure you don't want to have random words on your pendant. So because this has got a clear backing, you can use up the little bits that are left over if you've used them on a another project. Or like this, you can choose where you want to place them all and just give them a good rub, because I've done it before and I've not rubbed them enough and the image didn't come off. You can get actual nail transfer glue, but if like me you don't do all that faffy stuff with your nails, one, because I don't get time, that's why I just use the two-way glue, and then you just rip it off and there's your image. So let's put some more on, see if we can, right about there I think. Like I said, these ones are just so fun to use because you can put anything on. I've got loads of transfers. You can, oh, I think I might have got a letter on there. I might have to scratch that one off. See, that's me not paying attention because I'm talking and trying to show you in the camera. I've got a tiny bit on, but we'll see if we can get that off with. Oh, here we go, that's fine. And then, right, it's just the last little bottom bit to do. Oh, let's get some of these nice pink ones. Let's cut it off just in case there's a bit of glue that I've missed and I don't want to have an overlay on my other butterflies. Get that out of the way. Alright. Shall we put you? Let's go there. As you can see, the image has not come fully over that butterfly, but no worries, it's not the end of the world. You can try and get the, oh, it's done it there as well. See, this is what you get for not rubbing it enough. You just line it back up. Not got the steadiest hands in the world. There we go. See if we can get it. Like I said, just take your time when you're doing this. You'll be able to faff with it a bit more than what I'm doing on camera. There we go, got them on. See, and you've got some beautiful images. Let's see if I can get that wing on that butterfly. I don't see if I can find where it was. I think it's floated away. Oh no, it's not. There, got it at the other end. Now which one was it? I think go. Little rub. There we go. So there you've got your transferred image. There are hundreds and hundreds of different ones that you can get. It's just what taste that you preferred of what you want on your pendants. You can get, there is just a plain white one which is stunning on a darker background. Like I said, it's up to you what you want to put on them. You don't have to do flowers and butterflies, that's just my preferred choice. So now I'll go and get the other pendants out and we will put some resin on them and then they'll be ready for baking.